For him to tell us Obi should go and support Atiku, it's an insult to an average Igbo man. It's an insult. And this is the things I want my Igbo brothers to understand. That these our neighbors, they hate us with all passions. The most important thing we need to do now is...
What you are about to hear from Honorable Chidi Ofogu is not just an interview. It is a cry from the heart. It is the voice of a man who has watched his people suffer, watched them struggle for recognition, and watched them carry pain that the rest of Nigeria pretends not to see. After the life sentencing of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, so many people are confused, angry, and broken. But in the middle of all this, Chidi Ofogu speaks with a truth that goes straight into the soul. He does not come with hatred. He does not come with bitterness. He comes with the kind of honesty that shakes you inside. He talks about what the Igbo people have been passing through for decades, the wounds that never heal, and the silence that has become too heavy to carry. He speaks as someone who loves his people, someone who feels that pain deeply, and someone who refuses to pretend that everything is normal. But what makes this interview so powerful is not just the pain he mentions, but the wisdom behind his words. He speaks about the future in a way that forces you to stop and think. He touches the heart, yet he opens the mind. His message is not something you can rush. It is something you must absorb slowly, because every sentence carries weight. Whether you are Igbo or not, whether you support Nnamdi Kanu or not, this is one of those moments where you just sit down, listen, and let the truth sink in. His voice, his calmness, his courage, everything about this conversation will move you. Please, do not miss a single second. Watch it till the end. What he says might change how you see things.
We're looking at what next for Igbo agenda after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's sentencing. Of course, we know that since the recent conviction of Nnamdi Kanu, it has sent a lot of ripples across the Igbo nations, stirring up a lot of emotions ranging from frustration to anger and a host of other emotions. And that leads us to discuss this issue with Honorable Chidi Ofogu, who is a politician. You're very much welcome. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you, Uche.
Looking at Nnamdi Kanu's conviction and how, it was received, how did you personally receive this news of Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence and conviction?
Honestly, Uche, I was not expecting that. I was not at all. I was expecting to hear a different news, and I know that day Igbos were like, today Nnamdi Kanu will be set free, and there was a lot of joy in the air. But all of a sudden, when we had that news, Southeast became a graveyard. There was so much, anger in the heart of people. People were not happy to receive that news. But be it as may, Nigerians are moving forward. Igbos are moving forward. Uche, I've always said Igbos are not ready. But I think these are the things that is happening that will make Igbos to come together. I will encourage every Igbo man, this is not the period to get annoyed. This is not the period to show anger. This is not the period to make our neighbors know that we are feeling sad. No, this is the period to prove a point that our neighbors will not know what is in our mind, because it requires we planning now. It requires we coming together. The sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu will bring a lot of planning in Igbo land. This is time for us to plan. This is the time for us to tell ourselves, look, we are not pretending again, because a lot has been shown to Igbos that they are being hated, that they don't love us. And because of this, we need to come together now and plot and plan for the success of an Igbo man in this Nigeria. Because, Uche, how can we say it? A general was killed. A general was killed. If that thing has happened in Igbo land, that community and the neighboring community, by now they could have wiped them away. And this killing of a general, nobody is talking anything. An assistant police commissioner was killed, and nobody was saying anything. And who is safe? But Nnamdi has been talking. He has been talking. He didn't carry arms, and he was sentenced to life imprisonment. What is he showing? He's showing that, look, Igbos, you are being hated. Igbos, you are not being loved. Igbos, whatever you do, we must subdue you people, we must subject you people. So what do we do as Igbos? We need to come together. We have all it takes. We are educated. We have our money. You know, so all we now need to do is to come back home and say, okay, because Nnamdi Kanu has been sentenced, what do we do now? How do we move? It is not time to quarrel. It is not time to fight. It is not time to show anger. Because when you are annoyed, you can't think well. This is time for us to come home and plot and plan and chart a way forward that will accommodate an Igbo man in this Nigeria if we really, really want to be together as a nation.
Now, you've said that the Igbos need to come together to prove a point and to plan. So what point exactly should the Igbo people prove? What plan should they make from now on?
The plan now is to make sure that we prove to our neighbors that we can be loved. To prove to our neighbors that we can be in leadership. To prove, because there is a lot of, how do I put it? They have been telling a lot of lies against the Igbos. Very big lies against the Igbos. And they are carrying it against the Igbos. And because of it, whatever Igbos do, they don't see it to be the best thing. So what we need to do is to come back home, love ourselves first, plan for ourselves. You go to Alaba, look at the destructions going on there. Let's bring our business back home. Let's come home. You see, in China, a lot of people are going to China to buy goods. We can do it in Igbo land. And when we do it in Igbo land, they will look for us. So now, all we just need to do is to come together as a race, as a region. You should forget so many things now. And just come together as a family. Then we will now know how to move and how to package ourselves in this Nigeria. Now,
politically, we know that the Southeast and the Igbos have long grappled with these questions of inclusion and representation, just like you've also mentioned that, you know, the Igbos are not loved, so we need to show that we can be loved and we have to love ourselves. So in your view, how does this conviction of Nnamdi Kanu, you know, how does it further give the conviction of this political alienation among the Igbo?
You see, now, I was listening to Dele Momodu. Dele Momodu said Obi should support Atiku. That's an insult. That's an insult. The zoning now is to the south. And Dele Momodu, who is from Edo, is telling an Igbo man to go and support Atiku, that it is not their turn. That is that thing I'm saying, that they hate us. What belongs to us, they are taking it away from us. Okay, even if Momodu has said, let Obi support Tinubu to finish his tenure, I will not be annoyed because he's still in the south. But for him to tell us Obi should go and support Atiku, it's an insult to an average Igbo man. It's an insult. And this is the things I want my Igbo brothers to understand. That these are our neighbors, they hate us with all passions. The most important thing we need to do now is to come together as a race and talk to ourselves, package ourselves. We can even forget this politics. We can even forget it and understand ourselves first, package ourselves first. We have the voting power, we have the money, we have the resources, we have the technical know-how, we have all it takes to control the political space of Nigeria. But one thing with us is that we have not come together. If I'm to say, let's forget about 2027. Come together first. Understand ourselves. Plan how to move on. Plan how to to tell our neighbors that, look, enough is enough. Enough of this insult. Enough of this hatred. Enough of this intimidation. It is enough. We need to come together and stop it. Because we know that we have all it takes. We have all it takes. But because we have not come together. You see, one thing with an Igbo man believes if he's in Sokoto, he should behave like them. He should live with them. He should adapt with them. That is the average attitude of an Igbo man. But our neighbors, they are not seeing it. How many Yorubas has building? It is these younger ones now that are growing up, that has bought land, that have seen that what their forefathers told them are lies. They are now living with us. It is the younger ones from the north that is now building in the east, because they have seen that what their forefathers told them is lies. So Igbos, we communicate very well, but the hatred is too much. So all we need to do now is to forget every other thing. Let's come and organize ourselves. When we now organize ourselves, understand what we want and where we are going, we can now come up. Then if you talk, we can now answer you.
Now, this issue of coming together is something that has been recurring. I mean, you've mentioned continuously that the Igbos need to come together. There have been talks about coming together to, plan and all of that. Why is it that even with all the years of talking about coming together, the Igbos seem not to still come together as one to handle this issue?
When Obasanjo was the president of Nigeria, I know in Southeast, there is this Southeast caucus. They come together. They speak with one voice. They were not selfish. And I know that time, Nzozi Chukuchuku will stand up and tell Obasanjo that if you are not giving us this thing, I will resign. And that is, when you look at the administration of Obasanjo, you will find out that Igbos occupied good positions. Because the people in the helm of affairs in the Southeast then, they were speaking for the Igbos. They were talking for the Igbos. But since the coming of Buhari, they lost it. And people will say Buhari hates Igbos. I didn't believe in that. The issue is that who is speaking for you? Who is standing for you? By the time Buhari came in, we didn't have people that were speaking for us. I heard that the chief cook of Buhari was an Igbo man. If Buhari hates Igbos, he will not make an Igbo man his chief cook. But the issue is who is speaking for us. We have our late brother, who was following Buhari. Everybody thought that Buhari would make him the secretary to the federation. But he didn't. Because why? He didn't present himself very well. They followed Buhari sheepishly. But during Obasanjo, the Igbos who are in the helm of affairs in the Southeast, they were speaking with one voice. Who is that voice now that is speaking for Igbos? Rather, what they are looking for is their selfish interest. And that is the reason why it is as if it is difficult. But systematically, Igbos are coming together. Systematically. Because there are 13 states in Nigeria where you have Igbos. All of a sudden, all of them are now waking up and saying that they are Igbos. So Igbos are gradually coming up. What we just need now is a leader who is not selfish, who is not self-centered, who will bring us together. And all this nonsense will stop.
Now, speaking of the Igbo agenda, do you believe that the Igbos, the average Igbo person, even understands what the Igbo agenda is?
Many of them don't understand it. And that's why it is a bit difficult. Many of them, when you listen to the social media, go to social media, you will see some of them, they will just come up and talk nonsense. They are not strategic. They are not strategic at all. And these are things we've started talking to some of them so that they will understand it and understand that we have to be strategic. You see the Yorubas, they are strategic. You see the North, they are strategic. We the Igbos, we are free-minded people. And that's why they are using this as an advantage on us. But now, we are coming together. And by the special grace of God, we will come together. And by the time we will come together, I don't think anybody will look at us and insult us again.
Now, still on this coming together to plan, we have Ohaneze Igbo. What do you have to say about that group and what their influence in all of this?
You see, sometimes I look at the Ohaneze Igbo. I don't really understand where they are standing. Because it is their duty to represent Igbos. That's why they call them Ohaneze Igbo. The issue of Nnamdi Kanu now, what have they said? I've not had anything tangible from them. They have not played the role they're supposed to play. You look at their Afenifere, they are very, very political. They are the group that will come and say, we don't need Tinubu. They are strategic. We don't need Tinubu. And there are another group who will say, Tinubu, we will need you. You see, they come out, they show us that they hate what Tinubu is doing. They go inside, they tell him, do that thing. They are constructive. Oh, what of the Ohanese? What are they giving us? I've not seen them giving us anything. Dr. Sam Amadi said the other day that the youth should take over. That the crop of leaders we have today has failed us. And I agree with him. They have failed us because we need to be strategic. We are not strategic enough. But as the day goes by, we will be strategic and we will be above all these people who has been looking down on us. Even those who are living in a very useless thatch house will come and be talking to an Igbo man whom you know that in his village he has built a very big mansion. They are just talking to us anyhow because we have not really played the role we're supposed to play. But I want to tell you, Uche, very soon Igbos will begin to play that role and they will look for us.
Do you think Biafra is a solution to this problem?
I don't think that Biafra is a solution. Biafra is not a solution. We can dominate Nigeria. When you are talking about Biafra, it's for us to go home, Abi, and cluster ourselves. God has given us leadership. The only thing is that we have not made use of it. By the time we begin to make use of it, let an Igbo man get annoyed in Kanu and see if Kanu will be Kanu. Kanu will not be Kanu. Let an Igbo man get annoyed in Sokoto and see if Sokoto will be Sokoto. Let an Igbo man get annoyed in Lagos. Okay, look at Christmas. By the time they all go, everywhere is empty. They are the ones that will be calling, hey, please, our Igbo brothers, you people should come back. So if that is happening, we should now come back home. Bring up a strategy to take charge, to control. The only thing is that we have not really, they talk things against us that are not true. Emotional blackmail. That's what they are using on Igbos. But Igbos should understand it and have all it takes, to stand and say, no, enough of this blackmail, enough of it. Because we know we are specially made from God. We are the Jews. We are specially made from God. And some people will be insulting us, talking to us anyhow. It will stop very soon.
Now, these ongoing concerns about security in the Southeast, what impact do you think that Kanu's conviction might have on, the security situation and even the socio-economic climate in the Southeast?
Is it? Nobody can take it away from Kanu. Kanu has wonderful followers. And that's why we are speaking and say, let everybody come down. Let everybody come down. They want to destabilize us. They want to crumble our economy. Most of us has come to understand this strategy. And we are not speaking. We will not fall into their hands. Let everybody come down. By the grace of God, Kanu will come out. And he will come out a hero. If Nelson Mandela came out a hero, what stops Kanu from coming out to be a hero? All I'm asking them that let's fix a date. A date, if it is Mondays, let's pray for Kanu. So that peace will be in the land of Imo, in Nigeria and in the Southeast. They have tried enough to bring us down. But we are now beginning to understand their strategies. And we will now begin to handle it very well. So that the economy of the Southeast will boom. So that there will be peace in Southeast. So that there will be unity in Southeast. Because our neighbors, they don't need this unity. They don't need this progress. They want to crumble us. But we will not agree. They can't crumble us because we are wiser now.
The governors of the Southeast governors, we are seeing that most of them, not just the governors, the politicians generally, are aligning with the center, with the current government in the APC, and claim that they have this closeness to the president. Now, do you think that this has a role to play in what the Igbo agenda looks like, or the Igbo people as a whole? Do you think that relationship is showing off in the current state of things?
Let me tell you, nobody among them should come and tell Igbos that they are very close to Tinubu. It's a lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Who among them is close to Tinubu? If they are close to Tinubu, will Nnamdi Kanu be sentenced to life imprisonment? They are not close to Tinubu. The only governor I know that is doing wonders is Oti. Do you know that now President Tinubu has brought 2 major projects in Abia? And the information reaching me is that he has paid for all. There are things Igbos are clamoring for. Tinubu is bringing it to Abia because of the governor, who is not in APC, who is taking his stand that he will not join APC. But whatever that needs to be done, be done. It is not about every one of them going to the federal. It's all about being strategic. I think Oti is being strategic. And that's why he has attracted, by the time those projects will take off, Igbos will be happy. He has attracted 2 major projects from Tinubu's government. And that is what we are saying. It is not about following Tinubu. If you look at Obonyon, he followed Buhari sheepishly. He followed him sheepishly. Tinubu did not follow Buhari sheepishly. Tinubu followed Buhari with wisdom and understanding. And that is when they wanted to deny him the president. Tinubu made a statement that turned things around. All the governors from the north, that day they entered a meeting and decided to support him. They didn't support him because they want to support him. They supported him because Tinubu released something. And when we had Tinubu and the northern governors found out that if we don't support this man, Nigeria will crumble. And so Tinubu didn't follow Buhari sheepishly. Most of our leaders, they are just following Tinubu. They are not strategic. They are looking for what to eat. If they are strategic, you begin to see it. Because there are so many things that they are denying Igbos. Because we don't have people who are speaking. Tinubu is very intelligent. When you come to speak for yourself, he looks at you. But when you come to speak for the masses, that is what Oti is doing. And that is the reason why you see Tinubu's government, they believe in Oti.
So what then should these Southeast governors and politicians do, and including traditional rulers, religious leaders, cultural leaders, all the leaders of the Southeast, what then should they do to push the Igbo vision forward? What
they should do is that they should speak with one voice. They should have an agenda. Like I told you, when Obasanjo and Yar'Adua was in government, I know that the Southeast caucus, they were speaking with one voice. That is when we have Soludo as CBN governor. Do you know that during Obasanjo, that this Smith, the then CBN governor, what's his name again? Sanusi, not the one from Kanu, the one from Lagos. He was the CBN governor. He has finished his tenure, and Obasanjo wanted to renew it. I know that the Southeast caucus went to Obasanjo and said, you are a Yoruba man. You won't be a Yoruba man. And renew the tenure of a Yoruba man again to be CBN governor. That is when Soludo was made CBN governor. That is what we are talking about. Leaders who will go and say Southeast. Do you know that in this government now, tell me an Igbo man who has gotten any position through dialogue? No, everybody you see in this government got his position based on personal relationship with Tinubu. But during Obasanjo, that's why we have Maurice Iwu, INEC chairman. Igbos were getting things based on consensus. They will come together and go to Mr. President and say, give us this. And Mr. President will look at it and say, okay, because United will stand. He will give it to them. But why they are now messing them up is that they need individual blessings from Mr. President, and you can't get it. So they need to come together and speak for the Igbos and speak with one voice and make sure that there is peace, unity, progress in Igbo land. It is in their hands to do it.
So why are they not doing it?
That is what I'm telling you, that they have not really understood the politics of our neighbors. Our neighbors are very trickish. They are very trickish. And you can only get what you want when you speak as a group, as a team. But when you come on individual basis, forget it. They will use you and they will dump you.
What do you mean by our neighbors are very trickish?
Our neighbors, they are very trickish. as a press woman, you're supposed to understand what I'm saying. Our neighbors, they are very tricky. Look at Amechi. Where is Amechi today? Amechi left his own brother. He left his own brother and followed them. Where is Amechi today? Amechi built rails from here to Niger. He didn't build anyone to Southeast. Today, where is he? They have dumped him. That's what I'm saying. Look for your people. Project your people. In the day of reckoning, your people will stand for you.
Now, before we go, I'd like you to tell us where the youth stands in all of this.
The youth?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. The youth needs to come together. We need to have a vibrant leader. We need to have a vibrant leader who will talk to the traditional rulers. Do you know why people go to school? You go to school to learn. But people think you can just come into politics and start playing politics. Politics is another high institution, though, that you need to understand it. When you understand it, you play it well. That's why you see the Yorubas. They study it. The North, they study it. But anybody thinks that when you go to Yoruba land, you see that there is a tradition of families. When you go to the North, you see that there is a tradition of families. And when they are coming up, you see them. They know the game. They know how to play it. But in our own case, you know, we think we can just come and we'll play the politics. And everybody is looking for what to eat. You know, we are not coming together as a region. And they are using it as a disadvantage on us. The youth needs to come up. All we need to do now is to see how we can bring the youth together, to teach them so that they will understand that politics is all about planning. It's all about planning. It's all about being strategic. And I know that God will help us to be strategic.
Amen to that. Thank you, Honorable Chidi Ofebu, for joining us this morning.
There's something I want to say.
Go ahead.
You see, I was listening to one Federal House member. He was just blabbering. I can't remember his name now. That they should close the National Assembly. That everything is not working. And I was looking at this man. When Buhari was Mr. President of this nation, is there anything that is happening now that didn't happen that time? He didn't say anything. But because a Yoruba man is the president, that's why he is not saying that they should close it down. Why should they close it down? If there is anybody who will say they should close it down, is a man from Yoruba. Not him, because he doesn't have the right to say it. Because when Buhari was there for 8 years, they never condemned anything. You know, what you did not condemn today will stand against you tomorrow. So now it is standing against them. Because Tinubu is not the president. He now wants Tinubu he now wants to cancel the National Assembly. It is not possible, and it is not going to work. But all I'm saying that if I am Mr. President, let them shut down all political activities. Because the security situation in Nigeria now is a terrible situation. All he needs to tell Nigerians, let's shut down every political activities and face, so that he will win the confidence and the total confidence of Nigerians. Nigerians are losing hope. Nigerians are losing confidence. But there are things he will do now. Like the other day, people read in the news that they have stopped grazing. And you see the joy in the life of people. People were happy. People were saying, let it be the first thing they have seen that Mr. President has done. But all of a sudden, we heard that it was a fake news. And people were saying, what kind of... So, Mr. President needs to be strategic now. People are not happy. He needs to be strategic. But the issue of an Hausa man coming to condemn Tinubu is what I will not want. Because Buhari was there for 8 years. And laid the foundation of what is happening today. They didn't condemn it. They want to condemn it in Tinubu's regime. It will not happen. It will not be possible.